Okay, so there's this very interesting thing I want to talk about. Yeah, I stumbled on a video where uh, two sisters were being interviewed. It was a discussion, a general discussion, and they were talking about morality, ethics, and all of that about the average girl child in Nigeria. And the first girl had so much to say, brilliant criticisms. You should not dress like this, you should not do this, you should not act this way, you should be better as a lady. She had so much to say, and when she was done with her criticism, the camera moved to the other girl and they asked, okay, what's your opinion? And after a very brief pause, her sister said that now listening to all of this and putting things in perspective, that she thinks that righteousness is a privilege. The studio went quiet because I had never heard that before, that righteousness is a privilege. What does that mean? And then she starts to explain to us that when you're born in an eggshell, do you understand? You have the security of your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your mother. You have a good education. You have access to the resources you need to thrive. It's easy for you to sit down and say, I am righteous. It's easy for you to talk about the moral compass and the pyramids of ethics. You can do all of that. She said, however, for you to truly criticize, you need to understand where that person is coming from. It's not a justification. This is me talking now. It's not a justification for doing things that are seemingly wrong, but for you to genuinely treat a case, you need to understand there must be a diagnosis, there must be an inquiry. You don't just deal with the symptoms. There's a remote cause somewhere. So for me, that was an eye-opener in the sense that it made me realize that most times we are very quick to say, oh, this is right, this is wrong, without having an understanding of what's going on. For you to connect to people, for you to genuinely love them, beyond just the ego and the selfishness of having to say, okay, you know what is right, and you can talk about what is right, and you can do what is right, and it is right. You need to understand where this person is coming from. I work with children, and I can tell you for a fact, if you teach children just because you want to earn a salary, you lose the authority and you lose your loyalty. You won't have the authority, you won't have your loyalty. But children can see through people that just want to earn a living and people that are genuinely interested in the subject at hand. And they have the tendency to follow those that are genuinely interested, those that are knowledgeable in the subject. Children will follow you. People, too, will also follow you. And for you to have an in-depth understanding, it means you must be genuinely interested, because interest is intelligence and intelligence is interest. So we find ourselves in situations where today everybody wants to condemn, everybody wants to judge, everybody wants to write, everybody wants to talk about, oh no, he or she is doing that, she is doing that for validation, he is doing that for attention, she is doing that for attention, but you do not genuinely understand the deprivation and the trauma some people have had to go through. See, I tell you something today, even for the people that function at the lowest of the low, talking about the moral compass by society's judgment, if you take our time to listen to their stories genuinely, they tend to open up to you, they tend to tell you things, they tend to make you understand that they too are human beings, they too feel, they too cry in their silent times. It's convenient for you, does not make you righteous. You need to start to think about it. With love must you correct. With love must you educate. That sincerity of purpose and intentions are obvious. You might not notice, but it's very obvious. So righteousness is grace. It is by grace we are all alive. It's by grace we are all where we are. There are people that are less intelligent than you, that are richer than you, that are healthier than you. There are people that are more intelligent than you, that are lower than you are on the food chain. So you are right where you are by grace, and you must stay humble. You must understand that. You must approach these issues with love, with a genuine and sincere feeling of love. Please, I cannot overemphasize this. This just happened to hit me this morning, and I had to talk about it. That your righteousness is not your right. Righteousness is by grace, and every day, You must go before God. Whatever you believe in, or whoever you believe in, that's your own prerogative. You must go before God in total submission, in total humility, asking for forgiveness. I'll always make reference to the Lord's Prayer that says, and forgive me my sin, as I have forgiven those that offend me. So there's a precondition, there's a caveat. For you to be forgiven, you must understand where that person is coming from. It is not, like I said earlier on, it's not to aid immorality, it's not to aid unethical behavior, but rather it's for you to make an inquiry. It's for your own intelligence, it's for your own archives to understand, to learn about the mindsets of people, why people do what they do. And I think it's of a higher intelligence when you're willing to take time. It's lazy for you to look at this person and say, hey, this person is a bad person, this person is a good person, this person. It's very lazy. Where the real work comes from, work that inspires genuine intelligence, is for you to be emotionally connected to these people and understand where they are coming from, to know why they do what they do, and the effects it has on them, not on you. So please take our time to understand these things. A lot of us, sadly, are products of the righteousness of convenience. So we align and we arrange our judgments along the lines of comfort. You live in a very hot region, so you have to expose yourself. And then you look at the next person and say, this person is not dressed properly because the person is covering too much. You live in a cold region, so you have to cover your whole body. And this person is barely dressed, and you say, no, this person is exposing too much. You love tattoos, and this person loves dreadlocks. And then you're like, no, you should not do that with your hair. It's wrong. And then the person with dreadlocks is looking at the person with tattoos. I said, no, you should not put ink on your body. It's wrong. You don't know their story. Yes. Like I said, it's not a justification for anything, but it's a call for us to become more intelligent. Yes, to pay more attention. The more attention you pay, the more you become. And the more you become, the less worried you are about the things that happen in life. Because judgment comes to every man. Judgment comes to every man. And I tell you this today, when that day comes, the judgment will not be based on the actions, will not be based just on the things that we see, vain things, but rather by the content of one's heart. So start to think about it. Start to put things in perspective, so that on the last day, all of us will jolly off. And all of us will be happy, and we'll sing psalms and sing good songs with the Celestials. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead. Yes.